Hello there guys, it's Stephen and Phil here back on FOOTY.COM with yet another kit review. And last night there was a big surprise as Juventus dropped a fourth kit at home, of course, which is the trend these days. And it's a very interesting number, a very unexpected for many people, not for some who've been paying close attention. But we're going to review that today because it's absolutely fascinating. It's a really interesting story. We're going to go through the details and give it a bit of a FOOTY.COM score. But make sure you subscribe if you are new to this channel. It's the home of kit culture. There'll be loads more kit reviews coming up, especially given the Euro 2020 kits are about to drop, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. But Phil, this appeared last night randomly. Juventus just wore it. Did they win? They won, didn't they? In the end,
they won with a 96th minute Ronaldo penalty.
And there was a classic Ronaldo, classic Ronaldo celebration, which I'm sure Palace were absolutely delighted by because it's got an iconic picture already. They won last night, but they just kind of brought it out of nowhere. No one knew they were going to play in it, and they dropped this arguably more Juventus home shirt than the current home shirt. So what's your take on this whole link-up in general?
Yeah, there's so much to say actually, and this is great because, as you say, I didn't know anything about this kit. No one really in the kind of kit space and the kit community knew this was coming. Having said that, and I think you hinted to it earlier, there were certainly signs of this sort of thing happening, and this is very much in the mould of PSG and Jordan, which of course was one of the big stories last year. If
you don't know, Palace are basically, they're a skateboard brand, allegedly. So they've worked with Adidas before, and this is their first foray really into football. So this is quite a big deal for them.
It is,
and it's they've put their own stamp on it. I'll give it that. It does remind me of like the kind of skateboard culture.
That's the thing. And actually, when I saw this last night, and I was doing a bit of searching this morning as well, looking at Palace obviously as a brand, and they're one of those brands which you may not have known by name, but certainly their logo is quite iconic, and they're one of those sort of hype beast type brands, and of course that might sound like we're making up words to some, but essentially they say it's
you're always not happy with that word at all.
No, not at all. But it is very much the kind of wider culture, like you're saying about skateboarding, and just in general the kind of the fashion world once again colliding with football. And you can, as you say, it's really interesting actually. I think this is, despite what at first it looks a bit like a kind of FIFA kit, and I think a lot of people saw this and just immediately palmed it off, but actually there's a lot of really nice features on here.
I was trying to check my eyes, I'm a tiny bit colourblind. Well, it is a grey colour, isn't it? Like, it is a slightly grey colour.
That's it.
It's like a washed out, very on the edge of white grey.
It looks a bit like someone's applied a filter on a shirt.
Or someone's put in a dark wash by accident or something like that. But it has changed a little bit. But it still does at the same time feel like Juventus. Now, it's interesting they wore this at home, and maybe because they know it does look like a home shirt in a way. We basically battered the home kit on this channel when we reviewed it. We gave it like a 30 something.
Was it the lowest score? It was one of the lowest.
It's their Southampton. I think it might be the lowest score, mainly because it messed with the tradition of the club. Now, this is a good example where you can mess with the tradition of the club, but also create a kit that feels like that team's kit, We can't really kind of start anywhere else other than that luminous green thing going on. I think it kind of works.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's interesting.
It is, I mean, on a scale of like luminosity, if that's a word, it is incredibly luminous, and again, every picture I was seeing, it looked almost too bright. It's so
the kid would be safe on the road with that.
They would be very safe. And I think there's something about that which, as you say, it's probably the first thing you notice about the kit. But in all honesty, I actually quite like that element of it because, as you say, you've got very much the combination of the black and white of Juventus and the stripes, but these very bright, almost kind of, I hate to use the word disruptive because it's a word which is often misused, but it immediately catches your attention, and the fact that you've got the crest as well,
it stands out a mile off.
It really stands out.
It's really attention grabbing, which is exactly what they wanted.
And it's exactly this kit. And again, a lot of people will say, "Oh, it's another kit. It's a pointless kit." And actually, from a footballing perspective, of course, it is pointless. But that's not the point. This isn't a kit, for a team to wear in multiple games. It's a kit designed to basically cause a stir.
I wonder how much we'll see this on the pitch because I've got a feeling this is going to be more popular than the home shirt. It'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, well, I would assume that this was only planned for a very, very small number of games, if not just the one game. But as you say, given the reception was quite strong.
Was the reception good? Because I've not really paid much attention to seeing it online. Was the reception good from Juventus fans?
Well, that's the thing. I don't know many Juventus fans. and
I'll let you off with that one.
And sadly, I mean, there were, I think, a few things to know which I think were widely panned. And straight away, the numbers.
Oh, they're awful.
And they are, I think the thing to say
they mess my eyes so much, I can't read them,
I think the thing is that they are deliberately awful. And at first I thought that's a real mistake. And then when I was doing a bit more reading around, a few people were pointing out that actually they're so like the contrast is so bad that actually, you know, regardless of how good your eyesight is,
I'm surprised they get away with that for the referee's purpose. Well, it doesn't make sense to me.
No, that's the thing, and obviously
identifying players in a very quick game must be very difficult sometimes.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think it's surprising to see that in an official competition. It's actually so unhelpful, as you say, and they wouldn't get away with this.
Poor commentators as well.
Commentators,
you're sat in the gantry.
Yeah, but I think going back to the purpose of the kit, obviously, loads of people were talking about it, sharing images of the kit, saying how bad the numbers are, and actually reading around it. And I don't know exactly if this is true or this is some kind of a theory, but there was a lot of people saying that the kind of the visuals, if you like, of someone with those numbers on the back kind of running, it almost kind of created its own, its own distinct look.
Yeah.
Tying back to Palace and the skateboarding side of things, you know, almost as if it was.
It's just the year of the alternate colour cuff thing. It's asymmetrical cuffs. Every band have done it. This is the orange in there. I think the orange kind of works for Juventus.
Yeah. I always thought that was almost peach, although not quite the same peach. Maybe. Not quite the same as Cities, but yeah, and not the funny thing is with that, it's a great shout. You've got City and obviously like Barcelona's away kit as well.
Yeah, so you got Nike, Puma, and Adidas all doing it.
That's it
in big clubs as well, not just
absolutely a banner year for asymmetrical cuffs. And
it's funny, isn't it? Because it's almost like you can imagine them all sat there in the meetings going, "What have we done before?" Yeah, because they've done everything. Because the kits have been around so long, I think they've all gone, "What about that?" And they've all had the exact. I guarantee some people are like, "Oh, they've done it," and they've done it, and like 100%. I reckon if they'd all known the other people doing it, they wouldn't have done it. But
you never
that's
know.
it. You roll the dice.
Yeah, indeed. And I think, there's so much to say as well. Just going back to the design,
we haven't talked about the gradient really. Effectively.
Well, that's it. And probably my favourite thing about the kit actually is that lower section, and it's very much like, I mean, we've seen gradients and stripes before, but I think what I really like about this is you've got the combination of that pattern, which is very, I mean, that feels like a very kind of Palace influenced thing. And I was actually looking again on their site, you know, that kind of almost kind of hypnotic, kind of wavy, dotty pattern. It's really good in the way it kind of, it's very, very Juventus, but very Palace as well. You know, a lot of collaboration kits. So take the PSG Jordan stuff. In all honesty, I don't think that was interesting enough from a design perspective. It was interesting to see that combination.
Yeah, we've got one
there. But you know, like I couldn't look at that immediately and say it was a PSG kit really, apart from the central stripe. But this one was sort of wild, but also I think it actually made sense, and I really did like that element of the kit.
I think this is a good bad kit, if that makes sense. Like I 100% appreciate that a lot of people will hate this, and I think that's fine. I think I might have even disliked it a year ago, but since we started doing football videos and talking about shirts, you start to enjoy the creativity, mainly because it gives you something to talk about, and mainly because when you watch look at as many kits as we do, for example, you get so bored of the templates, you get so bored of repetition, you get so bored of the same ideas in a slightly different way. So when you see something like this, even though you know it's garish, even though you know it's a little bit ugly really, you kind of think, oh, it's fun, so I like it, and as a result you appreciate the creativity.
And the thing is, again, obviously this kit only exists because of kits like the Jordan kit, and you can 100% bet that next year when Liverpool move to Nike, they're going to bring out a kit and Drake will wear it, and then, you know, a fourth kit. City will be looking at this with Puma and going, hang on a minute, who can we get involved? I think
there's some rumours about Puma doing stuff with Baller, I think.
There is,
exactly.
So I think the thing, obviously, if you're a purist, this is pretty much the last thing you want to hear. But I think just a kind of word on that is...
We're in the fourth kit era now, aren't we?
We're in the fourth kit era. And I think what I would say, and I think what I'm looking forward to, is when it's done well like this, I think this is a good example of a kit which, you know, at the end of the day, it is obviously tapping into that fashion market. So it's not, you know, it's not going to be a sort of a kit for the fans of Juventus, sadly. But if you're a Juventus fan, think about it this way: your name, which is already one of the biggest names in football, has only been, you know, kind of amplified through this kit. And actually, if you're a celebrity, you'll look into this Juventus kit, and again, Juventus kit's already popular with the wider culture. So I think actually for Juventus fans, this is a good thing for your club, despite how crazy the kit might seem. I think it, and actually other clubs are going to look at this and go, you know, the Liverpools and the Cities of the world going, we want a piece of that.
I can imagine it's difficult for parents because the kids want all the kits, and I understand that entirely.
That's really tough.
It isn't going anywhere, so the best we can hope for is that the kits why not? It's not possible to have 4 kits that are going to be for everyone. Is at least you're going to have one that maybe you like. At least it kind of, you know, the odds are great. It stacks more in your favour in that way. Quick shout out for the goalkeeper kit, vibrant, interesting, colourful.
Yeah, very interesting combo. I'm not really sure what to call those colours. They're sort of, I mean, it's almost like the cuffs. You know, the 2 colours on the cuffs from the kit. But,
crazy, yeah.
But yeah, not quite as good for me.
But. We'll give it a score. Where do you stand on this? Is it the best Juventus kit released so far this year?
It's definitely my favourite.
So far. Surely it's the last one. You never know.
I don't know. I mean,
welcome to the club's 5th kit, which is that inverted or something.
Yeah, don't tempt fate. You know, I think this is purely for the kind of the stories behind it. And actually, despite how crazy it is, I do really like it. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not in the 90s in terms of the kits that we've seen. But I actually think there's enough here to put it in the low 80s. I probably would put it in there a kind of an 83 maybe.
I was going to say around early 80s as well, something like that. So I'm with you on that one. I think it's a fun kit. I think it's interesting. I also understand any reservations people have about this. But, you know, you got to look at it from our perspective. We like interesting kits because it's a lot easier to talk about. It's a lot easier to enjoy. And I can't wait to see more collaborations with different kind of brands. And I want to see Vans do a kit with someone, you know, something like that.
It's going to happen.
I want to see Converse do a kit with someone because it'll be interesting because you get bored looking at Adidas Nike templates all the time because they're so repetitive.
You do.
So seeing these kind of fresh inspirations, which don't really affect the home kit or anything like that, usually I like it. Guys, that is just our take on this new kit. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel because there's loads more kits coming in. We were just chatting earlier about how all the Euro 2020 kits are about to drop. So I think the early is next week. So make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on a single video. For now, I've been Stephen. This is Phil. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you soon.